Alright, here's the 30-meter project back after a year's absence. And what we got going here is the transmitter section. So I brewed up a little mixer here, little mixer, so power regulator and switch, so forth. Over here we've got the transmitter section. It's three stages of amplification here. Low pass filter, a scope connected to the output, and over here we've got a high pass filter at the input. So let me get this set up. Hang on. Alright, so because this uses a 4 megahertz IF, means the VFO frequency I selected was 6 megahertz. So out of the mixer here, of course, if I'm pumping in right here 6.1 megahertz, the output of the mixer here is going to contain both the plus and the minus, or the sum and the difference of the VFO frequency plus the IF. So we're going to have 10.1 megahertz that we want and 2.1 megahertz that we don't want. So this first section of the etched board here consists of a 5-element high-pass filter with a cutoff around 8 megahertz. So that takes care of the 2.1 megahertz component, and if you can see that, that's what the Nano VNA said. It's about 70 dB down at 2.1 megahertz. Okay, so I got some stuff going on here. Let me see how much of this I can capture for you. A little switch down here turns the transmitter on, turns the 8 volts on to the mixer and also to the amplifier. 12 volts runs the final. So we're going to turn it on here. And if you can see, we're at about 370 milliamps of collector current. And the voltage over here is 12.35. We have a good strong signal here on the pan adapter and the K3. This is with no antenna whatsoever on the K3. And let's take a look at the rest of this here if I can. The bird watt meter here is showing about 2.5 watts or so, maybe 3 watts. And I come over here to the oscilloscope, and I think if I clean up my connections, especially the grounds, that'll get a lot better. But let me read some values there for you. Alright, so the oscilloscope is measuring about 40 volts peak to peak. So that's 20 volts peak times 0.7071, square that, divide it by 50, 3.9999 watts. So somewhere between 3.5 and 4 watts output under these conditions. Now, just as a final little thing, let's check out the difference frequency of 2.1 megahertz and see what we get there. So we'll leave the transmitter turned on and we'll dial in 2114, which is where I've got it set up for. And there is no signal anywhere around there. So the high pass filter is working just fine. Still got our 3.5 watts or 3 watts out. There's the scope. There's the VFO. That's it. So I think this is going to work. I'm going to go with this and start putting the transceiver together. I hope I can get the receiver all back together. It's in about 3 different boards, proto boards, over here on the shelf, but I wanted to get the transmitter working, and I think we're in good shape. So that's it. Keep tinkering. 30-meter homebrew transceiver CW coming up sooner or later after about a year's delay. Anyway, keep tinkering. See you later.